And hello, thank you for stopping by. I'm trying something relatively new today, so I'd like to request your patience. So, I did this thumbnail for a video I've been trying to upload for a bit, and I thought I'd explain how I do this section with the character right here. So what I'll do is I'll start with a fresh file, call it thumbnail project. So the purpose here is that I'd like to show you how I did that special gradient. So first we're gonna load the assets. First thing we want to load is the background, so we'll go to the file menu and select import and select image. Yes, we're using Clip Studio version 1.9.7. Alright. So what we want to do first is the aspect ratio for this image is 920 by 1080, but for the purposes of this project I've scaled it up to 4800 by 36. Either that or I'm just too lazy to change the ratio. Alright, so that's our background, and we want to merge this image to a raster layer. So we're going to create a new layer. We're going to call it background. It's always good to keep track of your layers. So we select the image. Let's see. Come on. There we go. We left click on the image and we select merge with layer below. So the image will merge to the newly established background layer. Now that we have the background layer, we want to import the character. But here's the problem. The image that I'm importing is not a raster. Well, it's a PNG. But it's not a transparent PNG, it's just a PNG. Now we have a PNG. Hello, Barbara. So we want to get rid of the dark spaces, so the same thing as before, we want to merge the image to a raster layer. So we create a new layer, we're going to call it Barbara. Then we're going to right click on the image and select merge with layer below. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to use hear me stumble over my words. We're going to use the auto select tool. It's like the magic wand tool in Photoshop. So with our layer selected on this side, we're going to select the dark space, and then we're going to press delete or backspace, whichever one you prefer. And we're just going to do that with all of the dark spaces here. Now we have Barbara, who seems to realistically be standing in this composited scene. But here's the next thing we want to do. We want to select Barbara as an entire image. So what we'll do is what we're going to do is we're going to establish a separate layer which will be used for our black shade. We're going to call it shade. Then we're going to come over to the color picker and select black. Then we're gonna get our brush and we're gonna cover this entire section of the image, making sure that we cover Barbara entirely. The next thing we're going to do now is that we're going to go back to the Barbara layer, select the auto select tool, click on the background, right? Then we're going to go back to the shade layer and select delete. Now we have a silhouette, but we want to gradiate the silhouette. So what we're going to do next now is we're going to set our gradient tool. So we're going to deselect this, go to our gradient tool. Notice how we have different options here that do the different things, but for the purposes of this tutorial and for the purposes of saving time, I'm going to select gradient erase, right? Right. Now we're gonna go and make sure we select our shade layer. Then starting from the bottom, like around here, we're gonna pull up till around halfway. See what's happening here? So what's happening right here, rather than use a white or a transparency to gradiate the shade, we're just going to do a gradient erase so we can see the color fade from underneath. If you so choose, you can do it from the top side to indicate the light source and all this wonderful stuff. But for the purposes here, we're doing a mysterious thing where we don't want to reveal the character's face yet. So that's why I started from down here, but I'm gonna pull it 75% of the way up instead. Where we get a halfway view. We can pull it all the way through. Yeah, maybe 80%. There we go. And that's basically how I do it in Clip Studio Paint. Then we're going to save our file. So we're going to go up to the file menu here, and first we're going to select save as, so we can have a project file of what we're working with. So we can still call it thumbnail project, and we can save it as is. In this program, the extension of the file is .clip. You can also change it in that little drop down menu and change it to PSD. Now that we have that saved, we can export our file as either a JPEG, a PNG, or whichever one of these that you'd so prefer. I like to export as a PNG, and I'll export it as a PNG with the same name. The export settings menu comes up. Right here you can decide how you want to scale the image, the image's size. You want it to remain at 100%. You want it down to 50. You want it down to 35. Stuff like that. 30. It maintains the same ratio, but you may specify a size you so desire. In this example, I'm going to leave it at 100%. Yeah. For the purposes of just creating a thumbnail, for instance, you don't really have to worry about these other settings. What you probably have to worry about is the file size. So if you ever have issues in this program with scaling the ratio, you can bring it down a bit to reduce the file size if you have a file size limitation on a platform you'd use, like YouTube for example. Then you get a preview of what the image is going to look like. And when the writing process is finished here, then you're good to go. So if you like little tidbit tutorials like this, please let me know in the comments section below. And if you'd like to have more content like this, I'd really like to hear your feedback. And if you so wish, I would also like for you to subscribe for more of my content like this, because the encouragement really helps. I'm taking this passion project to new heights. So that's all I have for today, and thank you for stopping by. This has been RYONBO. Thank you very much.